enlisted when I was 17. I had to have my mom and dad's signature. The year was 1955 when I entered the Army as a buck private. And then I honored my assignment, went to my first tour in Vietnam. My first tour in Vietnam, I was a captain, and that was in 1966.
For the Americans in South Vietnam, 1966 was to be a year of dramatic expansion.
First tour, I was an advisor to the 1st ARVN Division. As far north as you could go, and there was nobody further north and west than we were. And I came back and went to the advance course in Fort Benning for 9 months, and then returned for my second tour in the Central Highlands.
Throughout the rugged Central Highlands, the most significant battles were for the hilltops, since the force that controlled the hilltops controlled the valleys below. The 4th Division fought to seize the most strategic hilltops for fire bases.
50 years ago this month, LZ Slinger. It would have been March the 1st, 1969. We've got this operation called Wayne Gray. The beginning of Wayne Gray is going to be putting 2 155 howitzers in. He showed me the position on the map. Let's go up and do a VR, a visual reconnaissance. So he got a helicopter, and he shows me on a map, he showed me there, and he says, that's the place.
The places the Americans were most likely to land their helicopters were set up for ambushes.
The old man says to me, he says, I'll put some artillery in there for you as a prep. And I said, no, don't do that. Put the artillery over here, because if you put it here, they're going to know we're coming. Put it over there, they think we're going over there. So he did. He shot up one of the hills over there. There's probably nobody there.
If the Americans did stumble onto a big NLF unit, the chances were it was occupying prepared fortifications with tunnels, bunkers, and trenches.
He said, tomorrow morning, first light, take the company in there, and we get in the helicopters first thing in the morning. And I had 10 helicopters, aircraft loads. I got on the 5th helicopter.
We'll try to aim towards the, just to the right of the finger as we go in.
We started coming in, it was a beautiful day. The first helicopter, when it came in, saw that there was something wrong. And instead of landing where we had set the LZ, the landing pad, it went to another pad. Now I was the 5th helicopter originally, now I'm the 3rd helicopter, because one landed over here, one got shot off. So when I got down, I could see what was going on, you know, and then my weapon was shot out of my hand. There were 17 that got on the ground. That took the 45 from my medic. He didn't really want to give it up. I said, give me that damn weapon. And we went around and came back up to the top, and they were in bunkers, and what we did was just take the tops of them off and kill them. The size of the LZ would have been no bigger than that parking area down there.
Indian tune in area, this is 17, you've got spark gap, 47, miss push, also top pick.
But it's not as big as you think. You know, it's not a huge area. And we secured the hill with the 17 that was on the ground, and out of the 17 that were on the ground, 13 were wounded and 1 killed. I got a Silver Star for that. It's a milestone in my life, and a testament to the training and the dedication of the troops. Because although I was decorated, all of them weren't decorated. And they were doing the same thing I was doing. I was going over there and showing them how to pull the sandbags off and shoot the NVA in the bunker, but they were also doing it. That's why there were 13 people wounded and 1 killed, as opposed to all of them killed and the NV prevailing. But that's not the end of the story. It's about one of my soldiers, Gail Kerns. We left Swinger and went to another LZ. He went down on a search mission, and they encountered the NV-8. He was hit almost immediately, and the people that were with him, members of the squad, saw that he was shot in the head, and he went down. And they never did recover him, so the conclusion was that he was probably killed, but they can't say that because they didn't have the body. He was considered MIA. We thought he was dead. but he wasn't dead, he was a POW. Here's the irony, he was captured on March the 29th. A head wound through and through, went through the right above the right eye, I guess, and exited back here. So there was obviously damage other than suturing it, but that's all they did. They sutured him, put him in a cage. He stayed in Cambodia for 2 years, and then they made him walk back to Hanoi. Because he didn't get immediate treatment for a brain injury or something, he lost the use of his faculties.
Today, the largest contingents of repatriated prisoners so far, 60 men, were flown from Clark to Travis Air Force Base, California.
Here's another twist to the story. He's the guy in the famous photograph. The photograph is when he got off the aircraft and kissed the ground. He was the only one that did it. I saw that on television. I mean, I saw it live when they brought him back because I was watching them all. And principally, I was looking for McCain, you know, because that's the one that would stick out in your mind. I didn't know Gail Kerns was a POW. Had I known he was a POW, I would have been looking for him. I only found out he was alive just a few years ago. Went to meet him, and he's in the home, well taken care of. His immediate family did not do well by him. They spent all his money. He had a lot of money accrued because he was a POW and he was paid. He was promoted while he was there, so he got the promotion pay. It's very unfortunate, the personal side of it. He has a great attitude. I mean, an excellent attitude. And when you talk to him, it just tugs at your heart because he's not angry, he's not bitter, and he was dealt a bad hand. If anyone deserves a real thank you for your service, it's Gail Kerns. I cross this river 5 or 6 times a day. If I'm wearing my cap, they'll say, "Hey, thank you for your service." And they say it with, sincerity. What does it mean to me? That's interesting because no one ever spit at me or anything like that, but you can tell the hostility, particularly with the younger people.
This is Walter Cronkite. Good enough.
They just knew that they heard continuously Vietnam was a bad deal. So if you were involved in Vietnam, whether you were a soldier or a politician or whatever, you wore the stain of Vietnam. And that lasted for a lot of years, a lot of years.
Well, for the first time nationwide, a day to recognize and honor Vietnam War veterans.
Yeah, a new law declared March 29th National Vietnam War Veterans Day from this year on.
It's never too late to make amends. The amends, I think, that society is making towards Vietnam veterans are late coming, but they're coming. And that's important. For me to be on the wall is probably one of the best honors I've had since I was decorated in the military. Oh, man. For Kerns to be on the wall, he's representative of all those boys that I would send outside of the wire daily, knowing they were going to get in contact, knowing that some of them weren't going to come back. These guys weren't the greatest generation. They were the greatest of their generation.